Hello and welcome to The One Show with Christine Bleakley.
And Andrew Neil. You're very welcome, Andrew.
I'm delighted to be back.
It is. Adrian's still off in Austria, of course, with Euro 2008. But you've been a guest here before, so hopefully you'll feel a bit at home.
Feeling among friends already.
Good. We like that.
Except for the knife and the shoulder. All right,
you're getting on okay. Yeah. We're not alone, though. Here's a woman who needs no other introduction than this. In about 4 seconds, Lulu. It's nice, isn't it?
I mean, it's all right for you two not to feel it. I feel very lonely up here by myself.
Why does no one want to be next to you?
Because I don't know, you sat over there and you shoved me over here.
You look in splendid isolation.
Yes, of course she is, as always. And also tonight, Dom Littlewood and Carol Thatcher are primed, ready for action too. Now, concentrate.
I am.
Well, or not concentrate, actually.
Well,
that might be. Yeah. It might be the question. When it comes to orange juice.
Now, when it comes to orange juice, one of the big questions of the day that I often ponder, is it worth paying extra for freshly squeezed orange juice because we think it's healthier? Or is juice made from concentrate just as good?
Dom Littlewood has been to see what your morning glass of OJ has been through before you buy it from the supermarket.
Both of these jugs contain orange juice. This one is made from freshly squeezed oranges and costs about £2 a litre. This one, on the other hand, is made from concentrate and costs about £1 a litre less. Question is, though, what else is different?
Home economist Sue Gilding from Hartbury College in Gloucestershire really knows her oranges.
So, Sue, let's establish what is fresh orange juice.
Fresh orange juice, Dominic, we take some whole fresh oranges, cut them into pieces, and we just want to squeeze out the juice in the middle, so we're getting rid of the peel and the pith on the outside. The oranges go in, and fresh juice comes out the other end.
God, sounds like my dentist. And that's it, nothing added. So what happens to that orange juice?
So concentrated is where they take this fresh juice, and if I just move this out of the way to show you,
right,
what they would do, obviously in industry they would not use Bunsen burners, this would be done on a commercial basis, but they take the fresh orange juice and they would heat it so that eventually a lot of the juice, the water content would evaporate off, and you would end up with a very much thicker concentrated solution. The things that give it the flavour are the essential oils, so you would lose some of that and a proportion of the vitamin C as well.
Which is, it's half the goodness gone from
some
the oranges.
Some of the goodness, yes, it's not going to be exactly the same as fresh.
So once these lovely oranges are picked, pulped and all that water's gone, what happens next? Well, concentrate takes up less space in the warehouse and can be stored for up to a year before it's shipped, thousands of miles. That way, it saves the manufacturers a fortune. And after its lengthy journey, before the concentrate is ready for you to drink, there's one crucial thing left to do.
They would add some water back into it. So if you'd like to give that a mix, some of the manufacturers, when they add the water back in, will also add some essential oils for the flavour and some more vitamin C.
Which really is an admission that they're losing a lot of it by doing this process, isn't it?
I guess it's acknowledging that, yes, you have lost some, so they're adding some back in.
It's very thick, isn't it? I'll just give it one of those, I think.
You shouldn't normally taste things in a lab, but we'll make an exception in your case. If you want to have a little taste of the concentrate that we've added the water to.
You haven't been using this for boiling up rats' gallstones or anything, have you?
Of course not, no.
Yeah, you would say that. Very sweet.
So that's the freshly squeezed, which will taste a little bit different.
Now I can taste the difference. The concentrate tastes sweeter.
Any changes you notice could be due to changes that happen to the sugars during that process of concentrating.
Now the two might look the same, but the route by which they get to your glass is totally different. Read the label, and you want the whole fruit, and nothing but the fruit, freshly squeezed, is the only way to go.
Dom's with us now, showing his tasting pinky. I
didn't realise my pinky is stuck up. It looks terrible.
Orange juice. No, I agree. I think the freshly squeezed stuff tastes better. But the concentrate stuff has got a lower carbon footprint when you bring it around the world.
It certainly has.
And they can put the vitamins and the good stuff back in, and it's cheaper.
OK, all that is in its favour. They say they put the goodness back in, but to me, if you're going to take something as fresh and as healthy as an orange and take out some of the goodness and the essential oils and put it back in, why not just buy a concentrated vitamin tablet and have that and save all the hassle? I don't think you can beat fresh juice. You know, I mean, it's fresh and it's on the shelves. The Food Standards Agency say it's got to be no more than 14 days old. So it is. I mean, it's a lot better than all this freezing it, storing it, dehydrating it.
That's because you're absolutely loaded, Dom. You can buy bucket loads of the real stuff.
But not only that,
but it's half the price to go with the concentrate.
Well, I like juices that have all the bits in it, you know, and you don't get that with the concentrate, you know. So to me, I would have the freshly squeezed, or I wouldn't bother. That's me personally. You know, I'm not a fan of it.
Okay, what about you, Lulu?
I have to say I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of orange juice in a glass, in a bottle, or in a what do you call those
Carton
containers?
Things,
yeah. But the whole thing is, if it's cheaper, you know, the world has to
and if you've
have
got
a
4 or
make and
5
get.
kids, better they
I
have
agree with
concentrated
you.
orange juice than some horrible soda.
So, you know, what are we going to do? You
Okay.
know?
You know, when you go into a pub and you get yourself a cola that's made from syrup, you can taste the difference between those and stuff that's in a can. You know,
We're
I think
going
it's
to
the
see
same.
if you can taste the difference here.
Do you want me to
okay?
try?
Yes.
You are our
A and B,
official
okay. Taste A first there,
You're
okay? I
setting
want
me
to see
up
if you
here
can
because
tell.
I said I think I can tell.
We've opened a book on this. There's
Yeah, we
millions
have.
of pounds hanging on it.
Lulu said to me in the green room earlier that you would definitely be able to tell this, didn't you?
Go on, Lulu.
Oh, stop it.
Sorry, jump with it.
Orange connoisseur you are.
Oh,
You can sip it, don't worry.
this one is the concentrated from the smell.
Well, there's a colour
The
difference.
bouquet,
as
should
well.
I say?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, that's concentrated.
B is
Taste the other one,
concentrate.
That one.
And so, therefore, you're absolutely convinced that A is not. Yeah?
No, I'm not.
Oh, really?
Actually, can't tell. Well, actually,
Told us you could do this.
I thought I could, so I'm wrong.
No, you were right. You're bang on with B. That is from the concentrate.
It's
and
much
actually that
stronger,
is.
sweeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the one with the
done.
vodka in it.
Yeah, that was the difference, wasn't it?
I can do
What's
that.
the difference?
While Lulu sips on her orange juice.
Thanks, Tom.
It's a Grade 2 listed building that's graced the London skyline since the 30s, but now Battersea Power Station is in a state of disrepair after its closure in 1983 and years of various unsuccessful development projects. It still stands empty and desolate.
Until now, that is. Finally, the power station on the south bank of the Thames is about to be redeveloped, and we can exclusively reveal tonight on The One Show. It's a scoop here. What's going to happen? We'll come to that in a minute.
For now, Dan Snow takes a look at the makings of the first ever coal-fired national grid powerhouse.
The London skyline is full of iconic buildings, its unique architectural heritage reflecting centuries of our history.
But one of the city's most famous landmarks isn't a palace or a cathedral or a bridge, it's a derelict industrial building. It's Battersea Power Station.
The London Power Company began building Battersea in 1929. Taking up an area the size of almost 4 football pitches, it was to be one of the largest power stations in the country, part of a government plan to modernise the supply of electricity to Britain's homes.
But the original design was pretty ugly. There was lots of steel, many more chimneys, not a lot of style. The British public were having none of it.
Faced with a storm of protest, the power company were forced to give the building a facelift, as architectural historian Cordula Ziedler explains.
People started realizing how big this building would actually be, so the power company felt they had to bring in somebody who could dress up the building and give it a better appearance.
They drafted in Sir Giles Gilbert Scott, one of the best-known architects of the day. He was famous for the range of his designs, from the red telephone box to Liverpool's monumental cathedral. The question was, what would he do with Battersea?
Because it is such a big building, you really had to do something quite canny to make it more interesting. All he could do was to work on the brickwork and give that some decoration and work on the design of the chimneys.
So he did the brickwork with the kind of lines coming down the front like that?
Yes, that's right. The brickwork is really carefully done. It has chimneys which are decorated, they're fluted, and all the decoration you see on the sides and at the top, those are his, to give the building some architectural interest.
Scott's facelift did the job, and Battersea was soon being hailed as a temple of power. But the company didn't stop there. Next, they turned their attention to creating a lavish Art Deco interior.
They got a different guy to design the inside to the architect who designed the outside, didn't they?
They did. They got a chap called Theodore Halliday, who was not very well known. He had done a job previously with the power company in Manchester, and that's how he got the job.
It's not what you know, it's who you know in this life, eh?
It is.
So what room is this?
Well, we are now in Turbine Hall A, which would have been filled with enormous big turbines, and as you can see, was designed quite as a showpiece. So you have
beautiful, isn't it? The detail on the walls is incredible.
Yeah, the whole thing is covered in tiles, and up there, right at the top, you can see there are these wonderful bay windows. So the people in the control room could look out over the turbine hall and see what was going on.
Check the workers are all working hard.
Exactly.
Why did they make this room so beautiful?
Well, I think they wanted to show off. This was a masterpiece of engineering, and it was one of the biggest power stations at the time. So I think the power company wanted to impress with what they had done.
Halliday pulled out all the stops in the offices upstairs too.
Here we are in control room 1, and this is an amazing space. This really was meant to be seen. It's lined in marble, it's got a wonderful elaborate ceiling, and it's got those fantastic bay windows which look out over the turbine hall. So this was the space from where you could see what was happening. And then all along the side here, you've got these control panels which tell you where the power went.
Yeah, Wimbledon and Carnaby
Yes.
Street.
Amazingly, the power station here powered about a fifth of London at the time when it was all up and running.
By the time the building was completed, its image had been transformed from eyesore to icon. But as more advanced technology developed, Battersea became inefficient to run as a power station. It was eventually closed in 1983.
In the 25 years since Battersea was shut down, this site has been bought and sold several times. There have been many plans for redevelopment, but they've all come to nothing. In the meantime, this building, the power station that broke the architectural mould, is just crumbling away.
Well, we can go to Dan now at Battersea Power Station. You've got some news for us, Dan. What's going to happen down there?
Well, we got some special information for you today, some exclusive information today. But first of all, have a look at this. Look at that view. That is the biggest brick building in Europe, Battersea Power Station. But I'll tell you, it is collapsing. Bits of concrete are falling off, the brickwork's falling to pieces, the chimneys are in trouble. It's a bit of a nightmare. They have to spend 150 million quid here just to make it safe to develop. Incredible. Rob Tinknell is the man in charge of that development. How's it going?
Very good.
Now, what are you going to do here?
Well, it's essential that this time the sensitive regeneration of this national icon actually happens, and we're committed to delivering on that promise.
Because there's been all sorts of other wacky ideas, but what are you guys at? Are you going to fill it with shops or something else?
Well, there's going to be a whole exciting mix of different uses. We've got apartments, a hotel, shopping, restaurants, bars, cafes, etc., all open to the public.
What about these big sort of iconic spaces like the ones we saw in the VT? Are you going to keep those for the public?
Well, we've got these amazing spaces in the two turbine halls. They're the same size as the turbine hall in the Tate Modern, but we've got two of them, and we're committing to open those up to the public forever.
You're showing off now. What about these chimneys? Because they look like they're in bad state to me.
Well, unfortunately they are, Dan. I mean, we can't really do anything about them. We're going to have to replace them, but we're going to do that using the architect's original drawings to the same materials, but there'll be one key difference.
What's that?
There won't be any cracks.
Good. We don't like cracks. Last thing, I mean, what sort of time frame? How long is this going to take?
Well, we think that we're going to get a lot of support for our proposals. They're very practical, very sensible, and we're hoping that we can get this power station open to the public by about 2014.
Excellent. 2014. See you soon.
Thanks, Dan. I'm so, I drive past it every day. I'm so glad they're going to do something. So sad to see it. I bet you, Lulu, when you first came to London, as I remember, Battersea Power Station was one of the things you saw and remembered.
Well, you couldn't exactly ignore it, could you? Those two big funnels, and actually the smoke coming out of them. I must say, it's not my idea of a beautiful building, but I would be very sad if they were to do away with it, and I think what they're doing is brilliant.
Part of London.
Yes.
That looks good.